Hi and welcome back to Bride Society. Today we thought we'd chat through a few of the considerations you might want to think about when planning a winter wedding. There's lots of positives to having a winter wedding, but there might be just a few more things to factor in when planning, just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah. And so, as you might expect, a lot of those things maybe come down to the weather factors and inclement weather. And so really it's just about trying to factor in that and coming up with either things that outright deal with that problem from the start, or having sort of plan Bs in your mind already, so that if things kind of start happening, like snow at the last minute, that it's not a complete surprise and taking you aback. So it's things like considering, like, maybe booking suppliers who are already pretty much in the proximity of your wedding venue, so that travel doesn't become too much of a hindrance on the day. Ideally having like maybe just one wedding location rather than ceremony and reception venue that, or at least they're not too far apart.
So guests don't have to venture out into the cold more than necessary.
Or even if it's just raining, not even with snow at that point, it's you don't want to be there and you nice get up and you like women in their heels and their hair done all nice and just like frizz ball. Like, don't know about you, my hair frizzes up
immediately.
So not the design look where we put all that effort into the preening and everything, and for yourself included. Just footwear getting drenched and stuff. So yes, that's a good idea. And as well, in terms of the venue, maybe even then considering picking a venue where there's accommodation involved, like a hotel, like yours had that.
So either guests can arrive the night before if the forecast isn't looking brilliant, or at least they've got somewhere to stay the night of, so they don't have to make a journey if it's been icy, if it's cold, if it's wet at the end of the night.
Yes, indeed. And maybe even suppliers might want to do that if they're kind of feeling worried they're not going to make it. And then it's things as well, like you could add really nice touches. So so it doesn't have to be all the kind of, I don't mean to make it sound like a negative thing with all this. So I would say there's nice things that come with winter weddings too, and that's things like the idea of being kind of cozy and that kind of thing. So you could put out like rolled up blankets or wraps and things either on the back of guests' chairs or in a nice basket near the door with a sign.
And that also means that if your venue has nice outdoor space, guests can still enjoy that, even though
like balconies.
Even if it is cold weather, they can still go outside and use all the venue.
And with that, so maybe inquire as well, if your venue has like outdoor heaters, that type of thing, or if you're still brave enough to attempt a marquee wedding at that time of year, again, factor in getting heaters. And again, on that front, think about, wherever your venue is, like the from points A to B, so like the car park to the front door, is there sort of a gravel path or pavement, or a guest going to have to walk through mud at this point in the year? Like, it's going to be a bog basically, and high heels going right in there. It might be entertaining to see all the guys carrying their partners over their shoulder coming into the venue, but and I guess footwear goes with that too, doesn't it? So it can be quite a cool look. I quite like this kind of quirky thing sometimes where brides like wear wellies and little flower girls in little welly boots too. Like, that's so cute.
It makes for some good photos and also means that it's practical. So
yes. So whether you're wearing them the whole time or just like for photos or to get from A to B, some photos and things. And umbrellas.
So I mean, here in the UK, I think at any time of year it could rain, but especially in the winter, you might want to think about getting like a nice umbrella rather than one that's plastered with logos, just in case you want to go outside, have some photos, you can still have an umbrella that's not too intrusive in the shot.
Definitely. And there are some nice ones out there, like I bought one for my wedding, although it ended up being the hottest day of the year at that point, so it wasn't needed, but again, something you can pass on to friends for their weddings and things. It can be helpful.
It was useful for me. It rained on my summer wedding, so that was handy.
Britain, always be prepared. And we're talking about seasonal flowers as well, which is obviously seasonal means, any season is something that flowers need to be considered in terms of like them being available or the cost of like importing them from whatever country. But yeah, so you were saying...
Yeah, so you might want to choose maybe more foliage. There's lots of different foliage around in the winter, and that'll keep the cost down. And then if you want some statement flowers, you can just kind of dot them in and around. You don't need quite as many, but also, I mean, foliage is a huge trend at the moment. It's really effective.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah, lots of greenery. It looks great in a venue. So
might get a koala show up.
Yeah.
So we've been to Australia fairly recently too, so we're keen on the koalas. Yeah, and actually one thing I forgot to mention before in terms of sort of the nice kind of cosy things you can do is as well, like, if you think about winter drinks as well.
Yeah.
It's like having a hot chocolate station with all different toppings and sauces and all that kind of thing, different flavours, or mulled wine maybe is like your reception drinks, that kind of thing.
And we recently actually did a video on different maybe festive drinks, so make sure you check that out.
Yes.
We'll link that.
Yes, nudge nudge. So yeah, check that out. And of course, like, it again applies to any wedding, but particularly when it's this time of year and there's maybe a few more factors that can kind of go wrong on the day, it might be worth investing in hiring a wedding coordinator, even if it's just for the on-the-day service, so they can head off any problems that might be headed your way, so that you're not constantly like feeling stressed or worried looking at the forecast all week thinking about it.
Yeah.
You can just be taken off your hands by someone like me. And just have that dealt with. So yeah, something to think about.
And finally, something that's relevant to weddings at any time of year, but particularly important when there's the chance of things maybe not going quite to plan, is getting wedding insurance. Nobody wants anything to go wrong or suppliers not to be able to turn up, but it just gives you that peace of mind that at least you won't be out of pocket if that does happen. Obviously it's not ideal to have to use it, but it's just that safety net that you should really think about.
Yeah, better be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
So they're kind of our top winter planning tips. But as I say, if you are planning a winter wedding, do check out our winter wedding series that we've currently got going on. We hope you find some of them helpful and interesting and have a go. Let us know if there's anything else that you want us to chat about and give you some advice on, or to have a go at showing you how to make, all this kind of thing. Send us your comments, questions. Happy to help. But yeah, and then check out our blog and Instagram, Pinterest. Lots of ideas around for you.
Everything's linked below.
Yes.
Yeah.
And happy wedding planning.